Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new episode of Mechanic Brewery Season 5, where I talk about the various homebrew mechs created by the Lancer community. That's right, I decided to restart the series after a long hiatus just to give the Lancer homebrew community a bit of a juice. Prior to writing this episode, I started a voting competition to see what homebrew frame the Lancer community in PilotNet Discord server likes the most, pit them with each other in tournament arc voting blocks, and this is the result. HORUS fucking sweep, folks. Anyway, in today's episode, Lycanthrope, from HORUS, by SP. Lycanthrope is, why am I explaining this to you? Everyone know what the hell a werewolf is. There is nothing new I could tell you about werewolf that you haven't heard about already besides how horny people are for werewolf. Why do you think furry is a thing? Anyway, we are moving the fuck on. Named after the mythological creature, the Lycanthrope is certainly living up to its name of being a goddamn nightmare. Looking at its stat, the Lycanthrope is a size 1 boy with good health, average repair, average evasion, and okay speed, but as it's a HORUS mech, you should pay attention to the side instead, and the Lycanthrope does have good save target, E-defense, tech attack, and good amount of system points too, along with an okay heat cap. Its sensor range isn't that remarkable, but that's basically because it's a hack and slash mech, and you can see that from its traits, of which there's 3. First, Hunter's Quarry, for once per round when you successfully tech attack someone, you can move towards them by 2 spaces that does not provoke reaction and also ignore engagement. Second, Predatory Sights, when someone hack you instead, you may use your reaction to lock onto them, presumably by just staring threateningly. Third, Fear Eater, when you make a tech attack, you may take 1 heat to target against evasion instead of E-defense. So yes, do you hate witch with a passion? Now you can give it a taste of its own medicine. This also makes Lycanthrope a very effective anti-hacker frame, something very amusing for HORUS to have. Lycanthrope also has 2 mounts, 1 double auxiliary and 1 flex. As for its core system, the Lycanthrope has a core passive called Ravage, in which for once per round after you hit a character with tech attack, the Lycanthrope's next melee attack against them deals 1d6 bonus damage on hit. Hey look, it's all the lesson of thinking tomorrow's thought build just around the corner. And for its core power, Lycanthrope can activate Lunacy Drive for lunatic flames with a protocol, in which for the rest of the scene, for once per round when you hit someone with tech attack, they take 1d3 energy damage. If you consume lock-on in the process, the damage goes up to 1d6 AP instead. I think you can clearly see what the game plan for Lycanthrope is at this point. You hack someone, and then you slash them apart, and Lycanthrope is devastatingly good at this job. But of course, that's not everything you are getting out of this license. As for the rest of the license, you get Fission Claws and Savage Hunter in the first section. Fission Claws, do you enjoy ripping faces off? Fission Claw is just a very normal auxiliary melee, with very short threat and low damage, until the target becomes slowed, in which case it becomes fucking murder. And remember, it's very easy to slow someone down with just an invade, and it will get even easier with Savage Hunter, Electronic Assisted Hunting, which is an invade systems upgrade that gives you 2 additional options. First, Hypnotic Gaze, cause the target to be slowed and on top of that, unable to move away from you until the end of their next turn. Second, Mark Prey, the target receives a lock-on. If the lock-on get consumed, you can boost towards them as a reaction before the triggering action. The target must then make a system save or get knocked prone, whether you reach them or not. In short, both of these invade options are here to keep someone near you one way or another, something the Lycanthrope enjoy very much. Aside from the Lycanthrope frame itself, you get Ripper Maw and Ionic Barrier in the second section. Ripper Maw, you are huge, so you must have huge guts, is a main melee weapon with 2 threat, decent energy damage, and 1 heat to hostile 2. Also, it costs 1 systems point because on hit, if the target is slowed or the attack consumed lock-on, you can pull the target in 1 space in any direction, good if you want to keep your enemies closer, or if you want to put them onto some mines. Ionic Barrier, ironically doesn't block anything, is a limited systems with 3 charges that gives you the Raise Barrier protocol, in which you raise barrier with a protocol, and any enemy that hits you when it's up within range 3 must make a successful system save or else they immediately take 2 heat and get jammed until the end of their next turn. A character can only be jammed once per scene by the system. The barrier also only lasts until the start of your next turn. This systems essentially make you an untouchable target when you get too close to enemies, which is the normal state of a Lycanthrope, but get too far, and enemies don't need to care about it at all. In the final section, you get Fenris class NHP and Tooth and Claw Suite. Fenris class NHP, of course it's Wolf all the way down, is an NHP system that gives your mech the AI tag and also gives you the Glenir's Spite, A full tech action which with an addition of 2 heat cost, lets you target someone with it and on hit they take 2 heat and is infected by a virus that causes them to be jammed and unable to stabilize, which is extremely bad if you have a HORUS mech hounding on it. As a protocol, the target can relieve the effect temporarily by setting themselves on fire, dealing 4 AP energy and 2 heat to themselves and everyone besides you within burst 2 if they fail an engineering save, half if they succeed. The target can end this effect by spending a full action on an engineering save. This effect can also only affect one character at a time and a character can only be affected by this once per scene. This system feels absurdly powerful. Being able to jam someone for seemingly indefinitely is a bit crazy, but the target being able to relieve the effect temporarily with the protocol does balance it out somewhat, and they can always waste an entire turn of action to cancel it out. Obviously, using this on multi-turns per round enemy like Elite and Ultra can potentially get very crazy, but you also probably don't want to use this on Striker NPC who might use the protocol to set everyone else on fire instead. Lastly, there's Tooth and Claw Suite, RIP, and Tear Through Software, is a quick tech systems upgrade that gives 2 additional quick tech options. First, Paradigms of Talons, force each character of your choice within range 3 to pass a system saves or take 2 heat and get pushed or pulled away or towards you. You can choose same or different option for each targets. Second, Paradigms of Fangs, make a tech attack against someone. On hit, they take 2 heat and become a disrupting beacon for other hostiles, causing enemies of your choice within range 3 of them to be moved directly away from them for 2 spaces. The Tooth and Claw Suite essentially lets you move people around however you like, which can be very useful for a controller. You don't even need good sensor range for the first option. However, there's a catch. Remember Lycanthrope's Savage Core passive? Well, Paradigms of Talons won't work with that, because there's no tech attack involved, which means compared to other quick tech that has tech attack roll involved, it's just less useful for Lycanthrope due to it not being able to combo with Ravage. You can use it to set enemies up, but you won't be getting that bonus damage in the same turn unless you overcharge to hack again or something, or maybe you spent your turn hacking and let the reaction attack do the job for you. And that's basically it on Lycanthrope, a monstrous hack and slash frame that's just as good against tech attacker and your usual attacker too. And yes, I know I'm using the default no image art here for this video. I would use a substitute art for Lycanthrope, if I can find a single image of Werewolf that isn't horny in any way. And yes, I know that a certain mech game recently constantly call the players as hounds and a lot of people are very thirsty about it for very different reason, but I can't find a single clear art I can use from that. Anyway, that's all for now and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.